Good afternoon, class. Welcome back to Writer's Workshop. Today we will be using one of our favorite books to learn a new strategy. I've noticed that sometimes some of you sit at your desk during Writer's Workshop, and sometimes we tend to stare off into space because we simply don't know what to write about. It's difficult to find one specific thing to talk about. We all have so many great ideas going through our heads. It is important that we are able to think of ideas to write about because good writers think of a bunch of ideas and then pick one. So I got a great idea and thought we could read a great story by Jonathan London and see where he gets his ideas of what to write about. Let's go ahead and jump into the book called Froggy Bakes a Cake to see how Jonathan London gets his ideas. Froggy Bakes a Cake by Jonathan London. It was Froggy's mother's birthday. Froggy was outside making mud pies. "Froggy!" called his father. "What?" "Help me bake a cake for your mother." "Oh, please," cried Froggy. "I want to do it all by myself." So Froggy flopped in the kitchen. Flop, flop, flop. "You'll need flour," said his father, "and sugar and chocolate." "I know," cried Froggy, and he pushed his chair against the counter and climbed up. He took down the flour, he took down the sugar, he took down all the chocolate candy his mother had hidden since Halloween. "We need lots of flour and sugar," said Froggy, and he dumped a large bag of flour and a whole box of sugar into a big yellow bowl. "We need lots and lots of chocolate," said Froggy, and he dumped in 10 handfuls of chocolate-covered flies. "We need milk too," said Froggy's father. "I know," cried Froggy, and he flopped to the fridge, flop, 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 and grabbed a carton of milk. Oops! It dropped on his foot and spilled. "And eggs and butter," added his father. "I know," cried Froggy. He snatched a carton of eggs. Oops! He only broke 4 or 5. And just one stick of butter fell on the floor. "Don't forget the baking powder," said his father. "I know," cried Froggy, and he climbed up and took down the baking powder. Then he cracked 7 eggs in the bowl. Crack, 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 crack. And only a few shells fell in, and he put it in the butter. Blurp. And poured in the milk. Glop, glop, glop. And finally he dumped in a whole box of baking powder. Sloop. "Time to mix it all together," said his father. "I know," cried Froggy, and he stirred it and slopped it and mixed it and plopped it. Then he dumped all the goopy cake batter into a cake pan and shoved the cake into the oven, and he sang, "Ugly, bugly, burbly cake, I make and I bake and I wait for the cake." "Froggy!" called his father. "What?" While you wait for the cake to bake, help me blow up the balloons." Froggy helped blow up the balloons. He blew, and he blew, and he blew, and he blew. Pop! "Now," said his father, "help me set the table." Froggy helped set the table. Oops! He knocked over the lemonade, and the paper party tablecloth got all wet. "Froggy!" called his mother. "What? What smells good?" "It's a surprise," yelled Froggy, and he flopped back to the kitchen. Flop, flop, flop. "Come and get it," hollered Froggy. Froggy's mother and father flopped in and slid across the buttery floor, and Froggy said, "Are you ready?" and opened the oven door. "Yikes! The cake exploded!" yelled Froggy's father. "Oops!" cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. "Too much baking powder, I guess." "It's good though," said his father, licking his fingers. "Wait!" cried Froggy. "I'll be right back." Flop, flop, flop. "Happy birthday, Mom," he said, and handed her a fresh mud pie with a candle in it. "I made it all by myself." "Oh, Froggy," said his mother, "this is the best, birthday pie I've ever had." "What a mess," said Froggy's father. "Let's go out and celebrate." "Great," said Froggy. "Yes," said Froggy's mother. And together they leapfrogged all the way to the bakery. Flop, flop, flop. Clearly, the author wrote about Froggy trying to make his mother a cake. Some things that we can write about in our writing are: one thing we could write about is a family member's birthday. Or we can write about a time you have baked something for somebody. or you can write about things you like to do outside. These are all 3 things that we can write about in our writing today. So now that we have seen a few examples of people or things that we love, let's get ready to start our independent writing time. Remember to think about what you are going to write about. Can you start a story with a person or thing that you love? Give it a try today in your writing. If you wear glasses, you can go ahead and get started. So now that we have seen a few examples, such as writing about a family member's birthday, or writing about a time that you baked something for somebody, or writing about what you love to do outside, let's get ready to start our independent writing time. Remember to think about what you're going to write about. Can you start a story with a person or thing that you love? Give it a try in your writing today. If you wear glasses, you may get started.